Hi, everyone. Welcome to GGGaming Gone Mad. You're watching this, if you're watching it in the premiere at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, but we'll talk about the time going forward in just a few minutes. We've had absolutely no sport for a couple of months, but sport is back. The English Premier League started last night. We got Super Rugby from New Zealand, a full house of crowd. What a beautiful sight it was to see at Eden Park last weekend. And one man I know who is very excited about all the sport returning, it's Gary Lentin. Gary, welcome back on the show. It's been a while since we chatted online.
Brent, it's been far too long, but it's good to get back. And I mean, the one thing I've always known as a human being, I read it once as a kid, and that is that you don't remember the hard times. You remember the good times. So like when you go, if you go back to cast your mind back to when you're in the army or whatever it is, you don't remember the 4 o'clock wake-up calls and the cold water being thrown on you. You remember sitting around and laughing with your mates and everything, and that's a good thing. And that's where I think we are now, you know what I mean? We don't remember look, we're not out of the woods by any manner of means. Yes. But from a sports perspective, we can't even think that we never used to watch sport for 8 weeks. You know what I mean? That seems like a thing of the past. And I'm sure that part, I'm pretty sure, is a thing of the past. Whether we get crowds back around the world, whether we come to accept the way it is and start to become used to it, that we don't know yet. That time will tell, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure I know why you had such a great time. You thought that Eden Park was so fantastic, because I must be honest, with that new hairstyle of yours, you could easily fit in for one of the Barrett brothers. I'm not joking. You're modeling yourself on that. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely look like one of the Barrett brothers. I went for the beard to look a little bit like Sonny Bill Williams. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yes. About getting to a couple of black jerseys and walk around, you know what I mean, Christchurch and Auckland and that, I wouldn't be surprised if we get stopped for Sonny Bill and one of the Barrett brothers. But it's great to be on the show, and it's great to get started. And I hope that we get a lot of the old people back. That would be fantastic. And I think we've got to find a way to get a lot of new people. You know, I've got involved in a show with Neil Andrews and Nico, and he brings on some people, and you know, they're getting, you know, they got 400-500 subscribers in the first week. Obviously, he's got a much bigger outreach that we got. You know what I'm saying? And
horse racing is actually still very, very niche market and popular in this country as well. Hey, the guys enjoy their horses.
It is, but Neil's thinking of doing something with the sport, and you know what I mean. I'm going to suggest that we try to do something together and combine it and everything. And I mean, so we were talking offline earlier about when we do it. Do we do it on Wednesdays or do we do it on Thursdays? And I said, let's bring it online and discuss from there when we're going to do it. And I think that let's get this out on Wednesday. And I'll tell you why, Brent, because I've got one thing I'm pushing this year from now is the golf at GGGaming. I think that golf is the greatest things to bet on, right? And we're absolutely pushing it. You know, we're doing live in play from Thursday right through to the last putt sunk on Sunday. On Thursday and Friday, we'll bet on wins and places as well on Friday. We'll run specials as well. We've got some special now, but we'll also bet on round 1 leader and round 2 leader right up until the betting's finished, right? So even if somebody's 1 to 100, we'll still lay the bets. We've got a guy there who's going to do it for us and everything. So that's pretty exciting. So I think, you know, and I'm not subscribed, but I'm friends with a guy. We've become friends, and he's helped me out a bit with Ascot, which I'll get to now, who's by far the best golfing tipster in the world, and most knowledgeable, you know what I'm saying? And he understands betting. It's one thing to know about golf. It's another thing to know about betting. Another thing to be able to put the two together. I've learned pretty much most of what I know from golf betting, and I regard myself as fairly knowledgeable on the subject. But I've learned a lot from him. And so what he did, he's getting on, and he had decided he was going to limit it to, you know what I mean, the World Cup, the world events and the majors and everything. And then because of what happened with COVID, he's decided he's going to go every event throughout the year. Last week, he tipped 3 guys. All 3 ran in the first 10. One of them got beaten in a playoff, Morikawa. But the thing is not all the bets he offers we can get in South Africa. So you're not guaranteed to make a profit as much as he often does, because he has a few bets that, like I said, we can't get you up. But it's worthwhile and it's worth following. And like I said, you know, I intend to make golf. I intend to take GGGaming to the leader of golf in South Africa. I'll do. There's no doubt about it. Nothing's going to stop me. But one of the ways to do it is to get guys to tip guys winners, right? And even if they don't win, you get a guy 33 to 1 or 40 to 1 or 50 to 1, whatever it is, and he gets into the mix, you can make a profit, right? That's what gets guys interested. You don't want to bring guys into an event where they're getting smashed out of sight. You know what I'm saying? So I think let's go Wednesday night. I'll give whatever I hear in the out there, and we'll go from there. Like I say, he's become a friend. He put me onto a few guys who tip horses in around Europe. So they started tipping the horses in Ascot to me. Also, I pay for that, right? They're great guys. We get on very well as well. But they kicked off with a 5-1 winner. So I thought, this is going to be pretty easy, you know what I'm saying? And off we went. But yesterday we came back down to earth like the space shuttle without brakes. Then today they tipped 2 horses, both at decent prices, and they ran second and first, So that was pretty good. They got a horse tomorrow that they're not saying go all out for, 6-1. Leave me, you know what I'm saying? So let me just see where it is. Will we get cut off if I go to my other screen, Brent?
No, you should be able to see your other screen, no problem.
Wait, I'll get it on my phone. Yeah, I know hold on, I'll get it on my phone. Yeah, anyway. So I'm going to just give that out there. Like I said, it doesn't come with guarantees. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it does. They've been okay. I would take this one. Whatever. Like I said, it's not easy. We're talking about the toughest racing in the world, but the best racing in the world. You can't compare anything to Ascot. It's absolutely outstanding. I've loved every moment of it. I'm only upset that it's going to finish on Saturday, but there is still a while to go. But I'm going to give everybody a horse at 6-1. Put 100 a place, 200. 100 each way is the way to go. A horse number 4 in race 5. Lope, I would imagine. Y.E. Fernandez. Lope E. Fernandez. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's why I'm not a commentator.
Hopefully we'll hear the commentator pronouncing it in the last 100 meters or so.
Number 4 in race 5. It's 11-2. Have a few pound on it. You know what I'm saying? And let's see how it goes. And if that one does run a place, if it runs in the first 3, then what I'll do, Brent, is I'll send you what they tip for Saturday.
Okay, great.
And you can put it on your site as well. You know what I mean? But only if this one runs in the first 3.
Okay, no, 100%. And just to touch on the golf again, I'm pleased you mentioned the golf because I've got a few competitions in mind I want to run on our forum just to promote golf betting because I've also started, I think I'm the same as that other guy. I used to play golf all the time and then I almost got a bit bored with golf. It became all about the majors. But now we've had such a long gap that I was punting last weekend. I've had a few bets this weekend and I've got a few ideas. I've also got an idea for you, Gary, as a bookmaker, but I don't know if this makes sense to you because perhaps the maths don't work. But I've always thought a bookmaker who offers each way terms, but includes the ties. In other words, if a guy finishes tied 5th with 4 other players, you still get paid out full each way terms. I reckon that would be, if you want a marketing tool, that's something to consider. Because I know Sporting Bet pay ties, but they pay a reduced price, but you can back a guy for the top 10 ties included. And you'll be surprised how often a guy runs 8th with 5 other players. And instead of getting the dead heat rules kicking in, but like I said, I don't know how the maths would work from a bookmaker's point of view. It might make it not profitable, but give that some thought.
We'll get stuck straight out, but let me just make some notes here because like I said, I want to take betting to things. So something about the ties, I'll work on that. I definitely want to do top 10. I definitely want to do top 20, right? And ties. If there's anything else the guys want, let them just send it to you when they see the show later and you get it to me. I'll price up on anything like that. What you say is fair, but the problem is this, Brent. I'll do something with the ties. I'll definitely do something to sweeten it up, right? I'll make it that a guy wins a minimum of something, right?
Yes.
But I'll definitely do something there. Give me a couple of days to think about it. We'll launch it next Wednesday night, and you can tell the guys. We'll tell the guys then, But golf definitely. GGGaming got to run golf in the country. There's no doubt about it. I found that.
There's a gap there, Gary. There's definitely a gap there.
And, one of the exchanges, I don't want to sit and plug other businesses now, you know what I'm saying? But that exchange, I go on there and there's, if I want to have a punt, there's $5,000 available. And if I want to take a place, there's $1,000 available. So I'll go there and I'll offer 20,000 Rand of the wins and places and all the other golfers that I don't like, right? But the point is, what happens if it's a golfer that I like and you like, then you can't get on there, right, Brent, because of that. So rather, let everybody come to GGGaming. Let's get the word out there. You've seen, we've got specials. If your golfer gets beaten by 2 shots or less, I think we're giving back 1/3 or 25% of the money. You know what I'm saying? So, remember something. If you back 2 golfers and one of them wins and one of them gets beaten, you get back 25%. And that's any bet you have up until they tee off in the 3rd round. So you get a chance, So I'm going to make it, I'm not expecting to make money from the golf the first few tournaments, right? If I can just sort of get it that we're at a break even and the punters have got a 50% chance of making money, I need punters. I need players. That's what I need, Brent. At the end of the day,
because those guys will also play on the rugby and the soccer once you've got them.
Soccer, exactly. I want my betting site to be a one-stop shop, right? We're getting our new software in August or September, and that's where I want it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I know we can't make everybody happy all of the time. We know that in whatever our business is. You know what I'm saying? And you get bad publicity from people, whether it's warranted or not. You know what I mean? That's their opinion. A lot of the time it isn't, but the fact is, I like to think that we give the best possible service, but I want to qualify that. We give the best possible service, I think, in the country, any bookmaker I've ever met with, to our loyal customers. You know what I'm saying, Brent? You can't expect that you come through You know, you put 100 rand on a horse or a rugby match every day, and then you own a horse and it's running first time and it's 16-1, and you phone me up and you ask me to put 200,000 to win 200,000 rand on the horse, and a first timer that's going to start evens. But if you've given me 50,000 rand a week of business, of course you're going to get it. So it all depends. You know what I mean? We're small enough to look after people personally. So anyway, but I'm rambling on, and I mean, I think you said you wanted the show to last 15 minutes.
No, that's fun. We're pretty flexible, but I think let's chat about this weekend sport. We're going to run a few competitions, because what we're doing now, Gary, you and I are not live, so we're not bringing up the comments like we normally would. But the show itself is airing at 8 o'clock on YouTube live, and the guys who watch the show, we can run a competition for people who watch it later. But we can run the competitions as we normally would, questions or predict the scores, and the guys need to enter on the show. So in other words, next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, that's when the show will premiere. And we'll get into a slot every week where we premiere it at the same time. Just makes it a bit easier for you and me. And there's nothing to stop us doing the odd live show as well.
Perfect. That's great. Just one thing, you know, last week we did a few things on the horse racing, and we got 400 people into the competition on Saturday morning, and it hasn't stopped since then. So Kerry's sort of up to your neck. So maybe I want to do something on both games. We might ask them just to email you, Brent, and then we don't have to check it now. We can check it after the game, right, to see who won it and everything. But there are a few different bets that competitions I'd like to offer the guys this week. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We haven't discussed, I mean, although it's not live, you and I are winging it as usual. You know what I'm saying?
As usual, yeah.
So let's just see where we go, and I'll tell you what my idea is on. You tell me if you think it's a decent idea or not. But I do want to have a competition, 2 comps in every game. Okay,
that's 100%. Well, let's get straight onto it then. The first game is the Chiefs up against the Blues. Chiefs, I think, minus 1.5 points on your side when I last looked. Pretty close game. Blues impressive last week.
Blues very impressive, and I haven't even let go all their Arsenal yet. You know what I'm saying? Brent, Arsenal. Why did I have to say that?
Yeah, don't mention that word.
Useless. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I thought we were going to get hammered 4-5-0 yesterday, so I thought it was quite a good result for them. But yeah, so let's go back to the Blues. They haven't even let go all their firepower just yet. And they look really impressive. They look the best of the 4 sides that I saw out there last week. Like you say, full stadium, absolutely brilliant. At the end of the day, yes, the Crusaders are the Crusaders. But if we go back a little bit in history, Brent, New Zealand rugby, I don't think there's anything more famous or more sort of historically entwined in New Zealand rugby than Auckland. You know, and if you remember the Super 10 and the Super 12, you know what I mean? It was all Auckland when they started off as well, Brent. And if you go through the who's who of rugby, not the recent era, I'm going there. You know what I mean? Obviously the McCaws and the Reeds and the Carters and that, you know what I mean? We know that they're from the Crusaders. But if you go back before then, a lot of the great New Zealanders would have come from Auckland, and that's where the history is. And it was just great to see everybody piling into the stadium, like you say. And what a performance they put on. I think that, for me, it was as good a performance as I've seen anywhere, Brent. And yeah, I think they'll be tough to beat, even away from home this weekend.
Well, I've got a trivia question lined up, and I'm going to bring it up now, Gary, because it's funny you're talking about Auckland, and the question actually relates to the Blues. I'm going to bring the question up now, and you can decide what voucher to give away. And what we'll do is we'll keep it up for a bit, then I'll bring the answer on, and then we'll see who gets it. We'll give the guys like 20, 30 seconds to get the answer, and first guy to get it correct wins. Let me find the question. And who captained the Blues in the 1997 Super Rugby final?
Well,
so
I mean, if I know who I would say, but I'd be wrong. I mean, I'm not going to say so now anyway, because the guys have got to get it. You know.
Yeah, we'll give them a few seconds, and you can have your guess. But it's quite a nice little question. That I think someone will get it, but maybe not first up.
No, well then I'll definitely be wrong. But yeah, all right, I'll get back to my guess just now. You know.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that later. I'll just leave that on the screen there, and then let's move on in the meantime to your competitions, Gary, on the games.
All right, so I mean, let me ask you this, Brent: are we getting all the stats like we were getting before we went into lockdown? So I mean, we can get total meters kicked and all those things.
Yes. The spread betting companies are going. We can get kicking meters, shirt numbers, all of that sort of stuff. No problem.
Because I mean, those are the ones that I think are most exciting for competitions like this. So, all right, let's kick off with, you know what I mean, the one that you introduced and become a firm favorite with the crowd, kicking meters. And it's going to be a little bit less. You know, this guy that tips me the golf and everything is a genius. And we're talking about the soccer. And yesterday we spoke and he said, you know, you've got to go for 0-0 half-time in the Aston Villa Sheffield game. He said, no, he's got all these stats, Brent, about how there's less shots on target since they're playing without crowds. And you know what I mean? He's going around Europe where they've started to do it, you know. And there's less goals, and the home advantage has gone from 25% down to 2% because the crowds aren't there and everything. The truth is, what I saw last night, the soccer players aren't putting in at 100%. You know what I'm saying? The rugby, it didn't look like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rugby was different. But then rugby had a full crowd, Gary. That's the difference. Exactly. I mean, rugby had, they were pumped. It's going to be very interesting when we see our first rugby game without a crowd. I don't think it's going to be anything near the intensity what we saw last week.
Yeah, 100%. But you see, what is happening in Australia when they start in 2 weeks' time? Are they playing behind closed doors, or are they going to have crowds, Brent?
I think they are behind closed doors. But bear in mind, New Zealand were also going to start behind closed doors. It only happened in the week leading up to the game where they were considered safe enough for everybody to go out. So that could change. But I think it's probably behind closed doors. I know they're playing the rugby league in Australia behind closed doors.
Well, look, if they allowed the Force to play in front of a crowd anyway, it still wouldn't get anybody. So they can say that they won't be a single sausage there. I'm ready to have my guess if you're ready for me, Brent.
Okay, I'm ready for you, Gary. Who would you say?
I've narrowed it down to two. And I
think one of them's correct.
I would say Sean Fitzpatrick. I don't know if he might be. No, now I'm screwed. Was he also a hooker?
Fitzpatrick was a hooker, yes, but he's
captain. Okay, so then I'm gonna go with Zinzan Brooke. Zinzan Brooke would have been my first choice, and then Fitzpatrick crept into my mind, but I would have said Zinzan.
There we go, Zinzan Brooke. So that's why I said, yeah. What should we give someone a small voucher there, Gary? Gary, a couple of $100 or something to get that?
Yep, give him a 250 Rand voucher. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, excellent. That's going to be. Guys, you got that'll be, if you're watching the premiere of the show, you'll have to comment live in the comment section and you can win that one. So it's for guys who watch the show when it's launched.
That may not even go. Okay, so total meters kicked, we'll give it to the person who's closest. We give them within what, Brent? 10 meters either side?
Yeah, 10 meters either side.
And we'll give 500 for that, right?
Is that is that combined the first game or combined?
Yes, huge amount of kicking. So let's combine the two, and then let's go. Do they have? Let's go with. Let's go shirt numbers. That's fine. We got shirt numbers, Brett. I'll definitely be watching the game live. This is about my 15th espresso that I've had in the last 4 hours. So I'm going to probably go to bed after the game on Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? And we got Shane. We put down one of my dogs, a 17-year-old dog, 2 weeks ago, you know. And I promised myself I wouldn't replace it. But after being depressed and everything for 4 days and my other dog missing her, we got a new dog here. So sleeping's not something we do a hell of a lot of. But the new dog will make her appearance later. Don't worry. You know what I mean? I'm surprised she's kept so quiet for so long. Right. So let's go shirt numbers for the second bet for 500, Brent?
Shirt numbers. And we allow them within 5? Either side, or total 5. Shirt numbers within 5?
Every prize we're going to give in a free bet, because like I said, without being arrogant or anything,
yes.
We are hell of a busy. That is the truth, yes. Brent. So to break it up that the guy puts 100 and 200, it's too much.
So one bet. No, that's fine.
One bet, a 500 Rand bet on anything that he wants, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have to turn over the money. He gets his profit, he can withdraw it straight away. No drama with that.
Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to run both of those competitions as well in the live comment section that we normally have in the live show. Guys can put it in there, no problem. We can decide on the later ones if we want to open that up to emails and that. But I think what we should do, Gary, is, and I'm thinking going forward, once guys get used to the show, we'll focus mainly on the 8 o'clock show when it goes out. So guys get used to watching it at a certain time, or we can always have one competition for guys who can only watch it, say, the next day.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that, you know. Very happy with that.
Right, and then are you wanting to do the same comps on both games, or we've got other ideas for the second game?
No, we'll do 2 other comps for the second game. Again, another very interesting game, Brent. Let's be perfectly honest. It's always good to see the Crusaders back. Like we said a little bit earlier, they're the ones that have owned Super Rugby. They really have, especially after the first few seasons. They took over and they've dominated, and they just produced some of the greatest All Blacks and greatest rugby players of all time, right? I mean, the truth is, we may never see another McCall or another Carter for the next 50 years, you know? So yeah, I mean, great to see the Crusaders back, and it will be interesting. I think that they have the handicap of not having had a run last week, and I think it will count against them. I really do. But But
bringing up
yeah,
the prices there. 6.5 points. That's an interesting one, Gary, because I can tell you a lot of punters fancy the 6.5, and they fancied it from early in the week. A couple of the guys that I'm having on my show tonight, and they really were strong on the Crusaders, and everyone expected this handicap line to move. And I think some people still expect it to move, but it hasn't gone yet. There hasn't been that flurry. I think people are exactly what you're saying, thinking there could be a little bit of rust there with the Crusaders. And in fact, I actually fancy the Canes to possibly beat the halftime handicap, although I'll struggle to go against Crusaders winning the game.
I have a few things, as you know. I never go against the All Blacks. I never go against the Hurricanes. I never go against certain things. So, not the Hurricanes, the Crusaders. Sorry, I'll go against the Hurricanes. I thought the Hurricanes were very ordinary last week, Brent. They did very little to impress me. But having the run under the belt is going to be a massive, massive advantage to them. And that's the only reason that this handicap is anything under 9 or 10, right? Because, I mean, if I said to you that, that everything was equal and they played each other, that both had the same amount of game time under their belt, I think that we would probably be looking at somewhere between 9.5 and 10.5. So is the 4 points worth the game, the run under the belt? Maybe it is. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that impressed by the Hurricanes. But having said that, I'm a Crusaders fan by heart. But anyway, it's a game that I'm staying out of. And it's a game that I'm not sure that the market will move, Brent. I think the market will move between the even money and 8 to 10. The two of them will fluctuate. I don't see the points really moving, because if it did, the point would move a point. It's not going to move 3 or 4 points. And so rather than move that point and get yourself a little horrible double that can arrive, rather just, from a bookmaker's perspective, make 9 to 10 and see where that takes you. So that, I think it's going to hover, and it's a game where I'm not going to have a bet, and it's a game where we're always going to stick around at 6.5. So whichever one you like, you might have to take 8 to 10. You may get evens. I don't know who you like, but the 6.5, I'm pretty sure we'll stay constant.
Yeah, I do like the Crusaders there, push, but it's not really. That game, I'm not too firm on at this stage. I'll probably be looking at total points. There is talk of a bit of bad weather around on Sunday there in Wellington, so I might just have a look at points there as well. But
right.
Gary, what do you want to do in this game from a comp point of view?
Okay, so let's go with this. I think it's going to be slightly less points anyway, Brent. So, and I think it might take a little bit longer for somebody to score a try. Let's go time of first try.
Time of first try.
Yeah.
What should we give them? 3 minutes?
I warned you about the chaos. Did you hear the
Just
dog?
The dog.
Behind? Yeah. Holly, come here. I'll show you. I'll just put it up here. Because, come here, come make your debut, Ollie. Come here. Oh, now she hides under the chair. Come on.
It's definitely not a Great Dane.
No, she thinks she is. I'll tell you one thing. She's not a Great Dane, but she is damn cute, right?
Yeah, very cute, very cute.
Oh, Holly Bear. So she's had to be Duke's mate, you know what I mean? She's just a Yorkie, chocolate Yorkie. She's been here for 2 weeks. She thinks she owns a house,
Yes.
But so this is Holly. She's now with us, She's moved in, and now she's going to attack Duke. You'll hear the screaming in the background any minute. But Duke does have the advantage that he can jump on couches, and that's where he goes and he punishes it. He sits on top of the desk.
It's starting now.
He's on top of the couch. He's the king of that castle. So we go with time of the first try, and let's do this, Brent. Let's go with let's do something with. Can you get knock-on stats or anything like that, Brent?
I think you can. I mean, I don't know. There are stats there. There's Opta stats and that they give you all handling errors and stuff like that. I think you can get handling errors.
So let's go handling errors, right?
Okay.
I just think, it's a little bit sticky there and everything. Create a little bit of excitement. So handling errors, and there's no rules, guys. Whatever the rules are, the number that Brent comes up with, that's the answer. Right?
Yes.
There's no getting involved in litigation
Disputes.
or anything like that.
Yes.
Brent's rules, Brent's answer is the rule. End of story. We don't fight or argue. Brent is, totally unbiased and everything. So he'll get the stats from the one place he chooses, and that's what we'll pay on a game, 500. Right?
Okay. Well, what should we say? Total handling errors in the game?
Handling errors between the two teams. So we've given away so far 2,000 Rand, if my maths is right. Let's go.
What are we going to give there? Say within, I wouldn't even know what number to throw. Say within 5 either side? Or 3 either side?
Do you think 2 either side, Brent?
2 either side. 2 either side.
I think enough people watch it, though. I think that somebody will get this on the nose.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no, we can go and have a look. Guys could go look at what the average handling error is in a game. I I wouldn't know, but I suspect, New Zealand is probably not that high. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one.
And we've got a lot of learned and astute sort of punters on the site that watch the show. I think somebody will get this on the nose. That's my tip. But let's go for one other one. So I want to give away, see if somebody can win a 3,000 Rand bet. But we're going to make it difficult, right, again. But I'll carry it forward if nobody gets it. This one, I think, they can email to somebody at GGGaming, Brent? You can send by GGGaming, so give them a chance. They got to give us total points in the first game, shirts in the second game,
total points in the first, shirts
in the second game, and the fictitious, and how many points? No, not even how many points. Let's go this way. We'll make it a little bit easier. Who wins the fictitious game between the Blues and the Crusaders? Just who wins it, right?
Yes.
And if you get all three right, within the same points that we give and the same restrictions, Brent?
Okay. We didn't do a total points one. So let's say shirts, we said 5 either side, but total points we didn't give.
So we give total points another 5 on either side, Brent?
Maybe 3, because total points is a bit easier than shirts. So
So
total points, 3 either side, shirts 5, and then obviously who wins between the Blues and the Crusaders.
Fictitious game. And we'll give 3,000 Rand to anybody that gets it right. If 2 people get it right, qualify, we'll give it to both of them. If 3 people get it right, we'll give it to all 3 of them. If more than 3 people get it right, we'll start playing dead heat rules, okay?
Okay, Gary, what I'm going to suggest is to keep it simple for this one. I'm going to put my email address up there, brent@goodforthegame.co.za. I will also, in the description box under the show, just put what this competition is again, just to remind everyone. So if you're watching the show, whether it be live or in the premiere or not, you can go below and have a look at what this competition is, and you can send your answers to me on email, and I'll forward you. I'll evaluate this one, and then going forward next week we can set up, if there's an address on your side and we have any, we can set it up like that, Gary.
Right, definitely we'll do that. And then I just want to say this, Brent, we're going to go back to this, right? They have to have had an account at GGGaming, and they have to have had a bet past week, otherwise they don't qualify for any of the prizes. And if you do win a prize and you haven't had a bet, we're going to name and shame you on the show. We're going to say how much you cost yourself. We're going to get a picture. We're going to get your mug shot, and we're going to put it on the show. And we're going to put it on every single week. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's,
yes.
Right. So so that's where we are. And I think that pretty much takes care of the rugby. Am I right, Brent?
Yeah. And look, I'll put the terms. I've got a link for the terms and conditions, and we did have that in. But let's just say for this opening weekend, shall we say they must have had a bet by the time of the first rugby game, Gary?
Absolutely, that's
okay. And then going forward, we'll work around that. Okay, because there hasn't been that much sport yet, but there's no excuse now for guys not to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. There really isn't. If you just look at this weekend, tomorrow I think that Spurs. I'm going through. I think Man United go to Spurs tomorrow. That's a pretty cool game. That takes place tomorrow night. I know that Liverpool go to Everton on Sunday. That's going to be a crazy game. You know what I'm saying? And it's possible that the league finishes not likely, but the league could finish on Monday night if Liverpool win on Sunday and Man City get beaten at home to Burnley, which probably not going to happen. But it's obviously imminent now that, the trophy's going to go to Liverpool first time in 30 years. That's pretty exciting, whether you're a Liverpool supporter or not. I don't think anybody that's ever played sport or watched sport could deny them that. And
no,
you know what I'm saying?
No, not a chance.
Whatever it is, if ever a team deserved it. I was speaking to my mate the other day, and he's on WhatsApp, and his son's an avid Liverpool supporter, So he's a kid, he's 13, so I thought I could catch him with one of my poor poker bluffs, So I say to my mate, it's crazy that they've taken the 20 points of Liverpool for playing all those illegal players, And his son's answer was quite a good one. He says, we don't need the 20 points.
Yeah, you don't actually.
And there's the answer, right? At the end of the day, they've dominated. And even after last night, Man City are so much better than the third team in the league, right? And Liverpool have made them look stupid. So good luck to them. They will win it probably in the next 10 days or whatever. And that's fantastic. Sport's fantastic. The one thing, Brent, we spoke about it earlier. I just want to go back there. And that's golf. That there are enough people on the course that I didn't miss having no spectators on the golf course. And I think it's more of a challenge to the golfers. Before... on my hand, I promise you now, I'd be 4 shots around better off if I could smash things over the green and they bounced off a stand, or I could get a free drop, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't have that luxury anymore. You can't all of a sudden decide, well, let me just take my 3-wood. Doesn't matter if it's too much club on the par 5 and smash it. If it's too much club, it goes in the stand. I get a free drop from the back of the green. It's beautiful, right?
Yes.
Now, if you 40 long, it ends up going into a river that you didn't even know existed on the golf course. So it has made it a little bit tougher for the guys and everything. Yes, I just want to take this call quickly because one of our dear mates, Neil Andrews, and I'm sure he won't mind when I tell him that I'm speaking to you, Brent, although he looks like he's dead. It's a total opposite. I know, there he is. I'm just finishing a quick show with Brent. I'll call you in 2 minutes, Neil?
Okay, yeah, I just need that one horse or whatever. That's fine.
Coming now. I'll send it to you now. Okay, cheers, matey. Bye. See, now there it goes, right? He should have watched the show and he'll know who the horse is. Am I right, Brent?
Yeah, except it hasn't gone out yet, the show, to be fair to him.
Okay, so we'll excuse him for that. You know what I'm saying? We'll excuse him this time. Yeah, I'm going to send that to him now. And yes, I mean, I think it's great. I hope the guys have enjoyed the show. You know, the thing is, I say, Brent, let them give if they've got any ideas or feedback or anything, you know what I mean? We're pretty easygoing guys, you and me, you know what I'm saying? And anything that can improve the show or increase their entertainment or whatever it is, I'm pretty much open to that. I know that for sure, you know what I mean?
Excellent. Yeah, and I think the golf's going to be great as well because we never really get a chance to talk about golf because it's always teed off by the time we chat. So now we can focus the show around golf. We're going to have the rugby betting by Wednesday night. There's obviously English Premier League virtually every day. So we'll have plenty to talk about. And I think we'll premiere this at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday so that it's before, well, I don't know. Yeah, it should be before any English Premier League matches hopefully take place or whatever. But we'll sort all of that out over the next week. But it'll definitely be out on a Wednesday.
Brilliant. That's going to be fantastic. You know what I'm saying, Brent? No, I've really enjoyed the show and you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's been always great catching up with you. You know, that is fantastic always, you know?
Excellent. Yeah, I also had a little WhatsApp chat with Neil earlier, but give him my best when you speak to him. And yeah, we'll watch that horse with interest. Thank you, Gary.
Let's see how it goes. And like I said, if he runs a place or she runs a place, I don't even know what sex she is. I will definitely send you the stuff tomorrow night to put on for Saturday, Brent.
Excellent. I look forward to that. Gary, thanks very much.
You be
That's
good.
Gary Lentin. Cheers, Gary. Okay. It's Gary coming to us from Cape Town there. Good to have Gary on the show as always. Guys, if you're watching this on the Premier, well, look out for the handicap rugby chat that matters. That's taking place. Scrolling down below there, 9 o'clock. That is every Thursday night. There we go live. You can comment live during the show as well. I've got a star-studded panel up tonight. So looking very forward to that one. And that is every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please do go down below and hit the subscribe button. Don't miss any of our videos. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you next Wednesday for the next edition of GGGaming. And as Gary said, you got some suggestions. I put my email address up there earlier. You can email me, tweet me, whatever. Let's make the show for the punters at the end of the day. Let's see what we can do. Thanks, everyone.